Hi there, today is December 5th, and holy shit, I had some really cool fucking awarenesses today, and I'm like so excited to share them. I feel like this light is just like really shining in my eyes. Anyway, I guess lighting is good. Okay, so this is really interesting to me because what I feel I'm recognizing about myself is that I am such a dreamer. And I've always had really, really big dreams. And there's nothing wrong with having big dreams. But what I'm finding has been happening is that we have to start somewhere. And I feel like we have this idea that everything's just going to happen at once. And like there's really nothing further from the truth. And really when you think about that, would you actually want that? Like, if you think about the biggest dreams that you can dream right now about your future, and when I say future, what I'm talking about are like obviously the relationships in your life, but also like where would you want to be living? If you could live your dream life, where would you live? What would the home look like? What would the home feel like? What would you be looking at when you're looking out your windows? Like, how would that feel? And it might actually be where you are right now. But then I want to add to this, if you could have your dream career, what would that be? Like, what would you be doing? And really start to sit with that and imagine how your day would look if you had your dream business. And also, what about your dream foundation? Because if we're going to become very successful in life, we're going to want to give back. You know, obviously, anybody who's watching my videos is somebody that wants to give back. And so what I've recognized is I've had some really big dreams. And I my biggest dream, and I think I spoke this out a few days ago, is to really, really have the ability to help cancer patients because I've gone through, like I said before, 19 rounds of chemo, the radiation, surgeries. You know, I've had multiple cancers. And what I really always felt from right from the very beginning of when I got sick is what I wanted to give back. And I feel like, you know, I want cancer patients to be able to have meals prepared for them in their freezer, in their fridge, so that they don't have to worry. Because I'm telling you, when you're fucking sick like that, the last thing you want to be doing is making meals for yourself or your family. So I've always had this passion that I want cancer patients to have meals. I want them to be able to have rides to their appointments and where they need to go. I want their kids to be able to have rides to get to school or where they need to go. I want their houses to get cleaned. I want their sideways to be sidewalks. I want their sidewalks to be shoveled when it snows. I want their lawn to be cut when it's summer. I want them to be able to have fun date nights with their spouse, or you know, have family fun nights with their kids. Like, there's so much that happens when you get sick, and there are so many things that I want to do for these people. And I've had this idea for years, but this idea is a big idea, and it needs millions of dollars in order to execute it well. And then a few days ago it was like, well, why the fuck don't you do what you can right now? And that just really started to get me thinking about, well, yeah, like why wouldn't I start where I am? Like, how am I going to make millions of dollars in order to donate millions of dollars? Like, that's a whole big that's a big process. And I don't know how that's going to happen. And I don't know if it's going to happen. That's the other thing too. Sometimes we can have these dreams, but if that dream is not what we're meant to be doing, it's not going to happen. And sometimes we need to do other things before that dream is a reality. Like, we're not in control of our destiny. The universe is, source is, spirit is, the divine is unfolding what needs to happen through us. And it may not be what we're thinking, and that's okay. It's okay to dream. But what we have to do is start somewhere. And so I sat down today and I started journaling, like, all of the things that I could do for free. Well, I've got my website. I do free guided sessions. I do free meditations. I do 1 minute videos. I do these videos every day. Like, that in itself is something that could help people. And I've written 12 books. Well, I can start to donate books. Like, there's and another really cool idea that I actually came up with that would be very, very easy to implement and very cost effective would be to make cards of encouragement for cancer patients. So that every time they go to the cancer clinic, they could pick a card and read that message and feel some encouragement. Like, there are so many things that we can do for free. We could literally just go to the cancer clinic and hold somebody's hand, or, visit somebody that we know that isn't doing so well and hold their hand. Like, sometimes we dream too big, and it's not saying that your dreams aren't going to come true, but there has to be the first step, and then the next step, and then the next step. And then, like I said, spirit's going to decide where we go and how we get there. But I am just like, wow, really in this space of what I can do. And the coolest idea that showed up for me was working, like creating this, what am I calling it? It's like a presentation. So there was a mental health symposium in March of this year, and I was asked to be one of the presenters. And so what I did is I actually created this bingo game that was based off of one of my books, and it was about challenges and how we face challenges and how challenges make us stronger and how to feel our emotions and how to breathe and how to go into nature. And so I actually created a bingo game for it. And I did the presentation for some grade 9 classes, and those kids had so much fun because, of course, I made prizes for everyone, which was candy. But they were interested in what I was saying. They were engaged in what I was doing. It was a fun game, which meant it wasn't somebody just standing up talking about their story. I told some of my story and what I've gone through, the challenges that I've been through. But the game just made it so much fun. It was like, my friend Cody is an amazing speaker. He was actually the keynote speaker that day, and he said, I'm going to take you through a roller coaster. I'm going to take you through the deep, dark parts of my story, but there are wonderful parts of my story and light parts of my story. So it's like, if we're going to start talking about mental health, if we're going to start talking about challenges, if we're going to start talking about life and that it's okay to not be okay, yeah, we can go deep, but we can also make it light. And so what I've decided is I'm actually going to create, I've been making this cool deck called Spirit Speaks, where you pick different cards and it's a message from Spirit. Well, I've got this really cool idea of how I'm going to create a deck like that for teens, but I'm going to create a bingo game for it. And then I'm going to go to schools and I'm going to see, I know some great teachers and I know some great principals and I know some really great superintendents of the school divisions. This is a cool idea. And, sometimes when we want to start our businesses, we're so consumed and focused on how are we going to start to make money? How are we going to get clients? Well, how about this? How the fuck can I give back? Right now I have the time. I don't have a job. I'm working on starting this business, and it's like, well, what can I give? What can I give? And so that's what I'm focused on right now is I'm going to create these things and make these things happen, and everything is just going to fall into place when it's meant to.